So her, Kelsey, and Aaliyah Boston, they had something special the second half of the season, and I just look at them as a young, hungry team. Our veteran president with Joanna Barner, Natasha, and me coming from winning programs who have been around the league for a long time and can help infuse something in that team that can take them far in the playoffs.
Sydney Colson finally revealed why she left the Aces for the Indiana Fever. And no, it wasn't for the cornfields. Was it Caitlin Clark's pinpoint threes, a top-secret mission to inject comedy into the Midwest, or the ultimate prank in the making? One thing's certain, wherever Colson goes, the punchlines follow.
Oh, Sydney Colson is obviously a player for the Indiana Fever. Someone signed to be Caitlin Clark's backup, and she is I think she's going to be a solid player. Genuinely, going to be a solid.
Sydney Colson just dropped the real reason behind her move to the Indiana Fever, and trust, she did not hold back. This wasn't your typical, "I'm excited for a new opportunity" speech. Nope. Colson delivered with the energy of someone who had been counting down to this moment, breaking it all down like a sports analyst with a stand-up routine. The biggest takeaway: the Fever's glow-up is about to be downright scary.
Championship experience is a whole new thing, and then coming off the bench, backing up Caitlin Clark, helping her with little things, just the knowledge that she's going to be able to give Caitlin Clark is going to be absolutely fantastic. But why did she leave the Aces? Well, if you see some of these stats and some of this information I'm going to put out, you can be like, you're going to understand why it was time for her to go.
If you blinked last season, you might have missed the Fever's wild transformation. They started off like guests who barely made the invite list, tripping over their own feet, spilling drinks, and completely forgetting defense was part of the game. But somewhere along the way, they cleaned up their act and started playing real basketball. By the second half of the season, they weren't just showing up, they were showing out. They went from, oh, bless their hearts, to wait, are they actually good? And Sydney Colson definitely took
a matter of time before Sydney Colson got to rubbing her hands together like Birdman to tell it all, dog. And that's exactly what she did in a recent interview. Now, we know Sydney Colson came over to the Fever from the Las Vegas Aces. Now,
according to Colson, that comeback wasn't a fluke, it was a warning. The Fever cracked the code late last season. And now, with Caitlin Clark in the mix, yeah, Colson didn't mince words. This team is about to be scary, as in, hide your favorite team's playoff hope scary. We're taking receipts scary. And for Colson, she didn't just want a front row seat to the chaos, she wanted it.
I am very excited for this new opportunity with Indiana. I know several players and coaches from the Fever, and I trust what I know about them, Colson said. I'm excited to be a part of the vision that the staff has for this team, and I'm ready to get to it.
Sydney Colson might bring the jokes, but when it comes to her move to the Fever, she's all business. I am very excited for this new opportunity with Indiana. I know several players and coaches from the Fever, and I trust what I know about them, Colson said. I'm excited to be a part of the vision they have for this team, and I'm ready to get to work.
Plus, she said it's a much easier transition now they have a year under their belts together, which would be scary. I'll be interested to be up close and personal with Caitlin and see what it's like day to day. And yeah, like that's the thing where it's like, this team goes... Realistically, this team goes where Caitlin goes. Like, I think everyone kind of knows that, where it's like, even last year with the team, when Caitlin didn't play well, they only beat the...
Let's be real. Colson could have stayed with the Aces, where winning is practically a given at this point. But where's the fun in that? That's like playing a video game on beginner mode. She wanted the challenge, the drama, the chance to help build something instead of just maintaining what's already built. The Fever weren't offering her a front row seat on a championship train. They were handing her a hammer and saying, help us finish this. And honestly, it makes perfect sense. If there's anyone who thrives on being underestimated, it's Sydney Colson. She spent years proving she's not just a locker room presence, not just a social media star, but a legit hooper who can impact winning. Now, she's got the chance to do it on a team that's hungry, scrappy. And if you ask her...
It was just an exciting opportunity My time with the Aces was wonderful, and we created history in a lot of ways. And they'll always be my Aces family, and I'll miss those fans and everything. But I felt God was leading me in another direction, and sometimes stuff can feel uncomfortable, but you not necessarily feeling like you're ready to take a step back. But I think that's usually when you need to. So that was what I needed to do. Now that was Sydney Colson, man.
Of course, Colson didn't stop there. She made it clear that while all eyes are on Caitlin Clark, this isn't a one-woman show. The Fever already had some young killers in Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Alyssa Smith. And now, they've got even more firepower. People don't realize, she said, with the confidence of someone who's already seen the future. This team is different. Different how exactly? Well, for starters, they're done playing nice. The Fever spent too many seasons being the team everyone circled on the schedule as a should-win game. That's over. This squad is stepping into the season like a full-blown villain origin story, smiling, but with a not-so-subtle warning. You should have taken us seriously when you had the chance.
They went up and snatched Sid Colson from the Aces. She is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic. Backup for Kelsey. Like, she is a great addition to this backcourt. She has senior leadership. She has championship experience. She is the most fun ever.
So yeah, Sydney Colson didn't just join the Fever. She signed up for the chaos. She signed up for the underdog story that's about to turn into a full-blown nightmare for the rest of the league. And if you're not paying attention yet, don't worry, you will be soon enough. And just when you thought Colson was done talking, she cranked it up even more. Because if there's one thing she's going to do, besides getting buckets and roasting people on social media, it's speak her mind. This time, she had plenty to say about Caitlin Clark, the Fever's veteran moves, and how this team is setting Clark up to go from rookie sensation to league-wide problem.
Remember how fantastic Sydney Colson was in the 2023 WNBA Finals. That's what Sydney Colson can offer. Yes, Sydney Colson did not play a lot of minutes with the Aces, but she could have. The thing that I love about Sydney Colson is that she's all fun and games. She's all silly. She's all enjoying her time. She is a boatload of fun. That is the life of the party right there. But when it comes to playing, when it comes to locking in and getting all set for the game, Sydney Colson's all business. Yeah, she could be silly and whatnot, but when she step on that court, she's business, right? Inside those lines, she is all about her goal, which her goal is to play some really good defense and take care of the ball. And that's what she does. And that's exactly why the Indiana Fever has signed Sydney Colson. Because yes, she is a great locker room fit, but also when you talk about someone who can play defense, that's something that...
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark is stepping into the WNBA, carrying the weight of an entire fan base, endless debates, and some wildly unrealistic expectations. But Sydney Colson? She's making sure that pressure doesn't crush her. In fact, she made it clear that Clark isn't walking into a situation where she has to figure it all out alone, because let's be real, the WNBA isn't college. The defense is tougher, the physicality is real, and nobody's about to let Clark stroll in and drop 30 a night just because the internet is obsessed with her. Colson knows that, and she emphasized that having experienced players around Clark is the best thing that could have happened to her. And speaking of those vets, Colson...
the knowledge and explain playoffs to them a little bit better so we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first game. And it's hard to come back when you do that the first game. It's hard to come back and try to win 2 straight against a veteran team. So I think they got it, and I think that it's going to be steps throughout the regular season that get us prepared for that, because every game, every single night is going to be hard. These teams have changed a lot in this league, and every team has loaded up and gotten better. So I think that the regular season is going to definitely prepare us for that.
Last year,